Check out the Alternative Games Twitter account, link in the description.
Hello and welcome to a new video and welcome back to E3 week where we're going to be talking about Ubisoft next. So guys, Ubisoft actually had a pretty decent showing. I don't know what the heck they were doing at the start with that weird Just Dance thing. I suppose you gotta hand it to them for just going balls to the wall with it, but yeah, that's Just Dance 2017, we probably all knew it was coming. One thing that we didn't know, that we know now, is it's coming to the Nintendo NX, which is interesting. The first game they talked about was Ghost Recon Wildlands, and they also gave it a release date. It's coming out on March 7th. Of next year. Ghost Recon Wildlands I thought was actually quite a cool looking game. I thought the way they were infiltrating the whole base, it all looked very cool. Whether it'll look that great in gameplay we'll have to see, but especially the car chase at the end, I thought it all looked very good and none of it seemed to be scripted, but we'll see. So if none of it is scripted and it is like that during gameplay, then it should be great. Also, the whole idea of the world is very interesting. The whole idea of having a guy who's, you know, taken over a drug lord and whatever, and you're trying to take him down. They can certainly do some interesting stuff with the story. Next they went on to South Park, the Fractured Butthole, or Fractured Butthole, whatever you want to call it. Basically, the game looks hilarious. It looks like it's a continuation of South Park The Stick of Truth. The only difference is it seems like they're kind of going for a more strategy-oriented style of gameplay, so you'll have different squares you'll be able to walk to. So at least they're doing something new. I also thought it was kind of funny the way you could go up to the table and he says, "Sit down," and then you go up to the wrong chair and he says, "No, that's da-da-da seat, that's da-da-da seat," and you have to go right to the end. And then also there's the bit at the end where, I won't spoil it, just watch the trailer. It's quite funny, but viewer discretion is advised. There is a lot of swearing and a lot of F-bombs, which was kind of the theme throughout the conference. So next I talked about the Division expansion. I'll leave a link in the description below to a video that explains my problem with the Division. And then, yeah, so there's a new Division expansion. Have fun with that. Next, they started talking about VR. So there was the Eagle Flight game, which looks like it could be very fun when you're going through and you're kind of flying in and under things, and the speed seems to really hit you when you're in first person. Graphics look like they could use a bit of a polish, but I'd say that one's going to be fun if you have an Oculus. Same with Star Trek. Graphics could use a polish up, but looks like it could be an interesting co-op game. The problem is then you have to buy at least 2 or 3 VR headsets, which is quite costly. They talked about the For Honor story mode. For Honor seems just kind of generic to me. Your man, who they always get to do it, with the beard and everything and the cane, he's always good, but nah, For Honor just seems like ninjas and Vikings and what else can we put cool into an online competitive fighting game. There's Grow Up, which looks quite interesting actually. It looks like a good kind of slightly more indie style game, but it's 3D. This is probably the closest thing we got to. They used to have all those UbiArt games, but they seem to have all dried up. No talk of Rayman or UbiArt or anything, which is kind of annoying, but still. Grow Up looks like it could be an interesting experiment. I know there was also the Grow Home game, which people liked, so, you know, hopefully this one is good. Trials of the Blood Dragon. Complete cheesy rubbish. I hope you enjoy it. I'd say it's probably heck of fun if you like Trials Fusion. Seems to be pretty insane anyway. Watch Dogs 2 looked quite interesting, the way they seem to have gotten rid of sort of the GTA elements a bit. Like, you can still use guns and you can still hijack cars, but it seems like it's more about hacking and playing around with the environment, and it's a bit more of a stealthy thing, which was always the stuff I enjoyed most from the first game. So I think this could be interesting, and it seems like a complete tonal shift. Like, the other one was a very dark, brooding vigilante type with his mask on. These guys seem like kids who are just, you know, having a bit of fun with people. At the same time, I don't necessarily think the language that they're using is amazing, by which I mean when the guy said, "Play me some fresh." What is it with this, between this and Splatoon, you know, like, video games? Stop trying to make fresh happen. But yeah, just ridiculous. And then the final game they talked about was Steep. Steep also looks kind of interesting. I don't know why, but when they said they were going to be mixing sports and open world and action, I thought they were going to have some weird thing where, like, people were throwing flaming American footballs at each other, or some sort of weird zombie apocalypse mixed with sports. But no, they actually meant basically this is a lot like the Criterion game that we saw, that was all very grey, and it was kind of a proof of concept thing. I think Steve could be very interesting, and I think despite the fact I really enjoyed Ghost Recon Wildlands, I really enjoyed South Park, and I really enjoyed what's the other one, Watch Dogs 2, but I'd say I'll give it to Steep, my game of the show, because just it seemed like it was a bit of a new thing, and the whole open world aspect, and the fact that it's just about, you can like watch your line, and you can, you know, come up with strategies about the best way to come down the mountain and whatever, and just the sheer diversity, it seems, of the gameplay, even though the visuals themselves, while they look stunning, probably won't be that diverse, considering that, you know, it's all a lot of snow and rock. But yeah, Ubisoft had a good conference. Other than that, hopefully you'll come back for my talk on Sony. So that was this video. Please don't forget to like if you liked it, leave a comment down below, try and start a discussion, and please subscribe if you have not already.